Alright, hey guys, welcome back to What Remains of Edith Finch. I am on part 3, which means I think I'm getting close to the end of the game. I'll probably finish it in this episode, or at least that's what I'm thinking.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
What the heck, there's a boat? So if you haven't been following the other episodes, basically we've been exploring this abandoned house and discovering various stories of how each family member of the Finch family has passed away. And now we're at the top of this house, and there's a boat up here.
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room.
I have no idea how
until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
I have no idea how they managed to get a boat up here. This is kind of crazy. Did he live inside this boat? Alright, into the boat we go.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of it.
Whoa, this is really neat. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. This looks really nice. Legalized marijuana. So, this guy seems to be a hippie, I guess. At least that's what it seems like. Lewis Finch. From Dawn Finch.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He
This
kept
is a
working
job.
at the cannery,
The cannery.
but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
What is that?
wander.
Oh, there we go. Whoa.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then, daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss, but he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused.
At the cannery.
Like a whole new Lewis.
This reminds me of my job at Amazon.
So I let him go on.
It was very, very monotonous like this.
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
This is all in this
On
guy's
the edge of a
imagination.
city he named Lewis Tokyo. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
Hooray for Lewis, the
And songs for
king.
them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
Eventually he's gonna chop off his arm.
He no longer spoke at the cannery, but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won.
Woo!
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
How many fish do I have to chop? That's what this guy like
Conquer a
imagines
city,
while he's
then
at work every
immediately
day.
push on.
That's pretty sweet.
New Louisville. St. Louis.
St. Louis.
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
He forgot to go home? He just kept working?
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on.
Oh, he just went completely insane. He never went home.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
Handsome queen, beautiful prince.
handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for
Radiant rainbows.
radiant rainbows.
Oh, I just knocked it over.
He followed the sound of her silver harp.
Oops, I missed one. Oh well.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Where's the fish?
He knew the
Where's
world
fish?
was all in his imagination.
Graphics keep getting better and better as we go. There's my queen.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
There's my army.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Is there really jobs
My
where you just cut
imagination
fish the
is
whole
as
day?
real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
What the heck am I now?
He began to forget the world we know.
Wait, why are the fish being dumped into
I think
the
it
water?
pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker.
I don't really understand why they're being dumped back into the river or in the water. I guess they're being... I don't know what's going on.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Oh. Wait, what? There's something over here? No. Okay, I'm a little bit confused. Yo. Oh, I'm supposed to go up here.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
I'll take another screenshot. It's pretty cool. Yeah! From cannery worker to king of the world!
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
I love how like the graphics went from pretty basic and it kept going up and up. Now it's pretty fancy. Look at that lighting.
His queen waited, holding his crown.
My queen! Oh, there's a guillotine. I'm gonna die.
There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
My queen!
And the rest I think you know.
This is so morbid.
Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Ouch. That was a pretty long one compared to the rest of the stories.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
I think I'm missing Sanjay and maybe Sven and maybe Eddie as well. So maybe 3 more stories to go. Alright, that was interesting. I like that one. I don't know how people like don't go and like absolutely insane at like warehouse jobs.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing.
Because I worked at one for
She
a
waited
month
until the
and it
day
was
before we left to
absolutely
tell
awful.
me. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
I can definitely see how people go insane working at like a warehouse type job.
I wish we'd stayed.
Alright, what's in
But I
here?
understand why we left.
Man, this like house never ends. I'm like almost at the top, it
My
seems.
mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Edith. What remains of Edith Finch? So is Edith her mother? I think.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
This is awesome. Could you imagine being like on top of like a 6-story house, just like this one little room up here? This would be such a cool, like, awesome place to sleep. All right, so this is Edith's room. Is that me, or is that someone else? Edith Finch. Maybe that's me.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together.
Yeah, it must be the
And
mother.
all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Oh no, okay, so Edith is the girl, not the mother. Okay.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles.
Edie.
When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
I would be really scared living in like a wooden house like this and having candles all over the place. Like, this place would burn up so fast.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
History of the Finches.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around.
I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going the right way.
For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again.
No, Grandma Edie. So my name's
The next morning, the
Edith,
van
so I guess I
came to
was
pick her
named
up,
after.
but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
Woo. The one really cool thing
We both
about this
tried to
game
make the best of it.
is that, like, it captures a lot of, like, nostalgic feelings of things that you do as a kid. This is definitely one of them.
A few
I'm pretty
years
sure every
went
kid has
by.
done that. Oh, and this too. Blown a dandelion.
My mom didn't like to talk about it,
Or actually, I'm not sure if they're called
but
dandelions.
she started getting sick a
Think so.
lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't.
She got, like, cancer, I guess.
And then I was alone.
So, everyone is
The
dead.
last Finch left alive.
The last of the Finches. Very
Until I
sad
found out about
story.
you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Oh my god, I'm the baby.
This journal was supposed
Oh
to be
my
for
God.
you.
I'm the baby inside of the girl.
But
She
now I
said
hope
she was
you'll never see
pregnant.
it.
Oh man.
I just want to meet you.
And that's her, you
and
know
tell
what
you all
that
these
is.
stories myself.
I'm about to be born.
But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Edith Finch. And that's her son. So how did she die? I guess in childbirth? And that's the game? Huh. I mean, it was a good story, but there really wasn't, I don't know, for Shirley Dallas. Did they take their childhood pictures and put them as in the game? I guess so. The end of everything. I got an achievement, so this must be the end of the game. I don't know what to think. I would say it was a good game. I would definitely recommend this to others. Not because of the story, more because I just loved the environments and how interesting the game was and how like nostalgic it made you feel like towards your like childhood and such. The story itself was kind of, I don't know, it's kind of sad. It was just like talking about various ways that her family died. But the ways that they died were very like, I don't know, very like unbelievable, I guess. Some of them were kind of silly, especially the comic book one where the monsters ate her or something like that. But overall, it was good. I had a good time. It was a very unique experience, which is what I look for in indie games. And I really loved the environments for sure. I got another achievement. Thanks, Johan. Okay. I wonder if I get achievements just by going through the credits. Yeah, I guess I'll just let it go through the credits. But this game is overwhelmingly positive on Steam. I'm not sure how much I paid for it. Oh wait, I didn't pay for it actually. I got it sent to me by the developers. So I'm really grateful to the developers for sending me this game. I would recommend picking it up. I would suggest maybe $5 to $10. I wouldn't suggest paying more than that. I don't think it's really worth that much just because it's a very short experience. I finished it in less than 2 hours. I would say an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes. I think I discovered most of the things in the game. I'm sure there was more to explore and more things to do, but overall I got the gist of it. Now I'm just waiting for the credits then. Maybe there's something at the end of the credits. We'll see. Yeah, they all just like took a childhood photo of themselves and put it in the game. It's kind of cool. Kind of like that. One thing I do wish, I wish it had more of a plot. It didn't really have a plot line. It was more just like discover what happened to each one of your family members and how they died. But there was really no true like goal or objective. You weren't really trying to get anywhere. You're just trying to go through each one of your family members. And at the end, like the main character that you're playing as just suddenly dies, and then their child's born. It's so odd, and you didn't really get to know like what the curse was or why the house was cursed. It'd be interesting if they explained a little bit more of why the family was cursed. Oh, there's a playtesters. I wish I was a playtester. It's a really cool credit scene, by the way. Like, they put like this entire game is super creative. The Edith Finch team, 2012 to 2017. The end. Alright, so that's the true end, I guess. This game did win quite a few like awards. The replay a story option is now available. Select Edith to play from the beginning. Alright, so I can replay any of the characters. So that's officially the end of the game. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this little Let's Play for those few of you who decided to want to watch me play through it. If you watch through this Let's Play, if you watch through someone else's Let's Play, there's really not a whole lot more to the game, so you could just not pick it up and you'd probably still experience the same thing that I experienced, because there's not a whole lot of gameplay. I wasn't really doing much throughout the game, just slowly walking from place to place. Even the more interactive things were just me like moving the mouse in a circle. But overall, I had a good time, so thanks for watching and have a nice night.